All right, the lawsuits are going back fast and furious here. The DNC is suing the Trump campaign, Russia, Wikileaks over the whole thing in 2016 and how it all parceled out separately. This report in The Hill that Andy McCabe is going after the Trump administration, folks suing them for lying and misrepresenting it. So when everyone's suing everyone, I need to make sense of it all, and here to do it, the greatest legal mind on the planet in my eyes, Judge Napolitano. Judge, I'm telling you, the suits that are going to come out of this, even before we get deeply into this, I just think these are a preview of coming attractions. What do you think?
Well, I think you're right, but I also must tell you that the courts don't like lawsuits like this. These almost seem like they are vengeance lawsuits, by which I mean you sue the person you hate to force them to spend legal bills and expose their documents and files and make their lives miserable, but the litigation's not really going to go anywhere. Now, I don't know if Andrew McCabe is going to sue the White House. That, of course, would be preposterous because he is a public figure, and the standard that a public figure has to meet in America today in order to bring a case successfully is so high. I mean, he would have to show that the President of the United States and people that work for him knowingly spoke falsehoods about him or were reckless in their attitude about whether they were speaking truth or falsehoods. That's a very, very difficult standard to make. In the rough and tumble politics of Washington, D.C., the courts have interpreted the First Amendment to give people a lot of leeway. Now, the Democratic lawsuit that was filed this morning, much to everybody's surprise, basically argues in a civil litigation context what the president's most ardent adversaries have argued should be in a criminal litigation context, and that is an actual conspiracy, an agreement between the Trump campaign and agents of the Russian government to hack the DNC and hack Hillary Clinton, to give this to Wikileaks and to have Wikileaks expose it. Now, we know that Wikileaks exposed it. That's a historical fact, but we don't know where WikiLeaks got it from and if the Democrats are onto something or if this is just political claptrap to try and embarrass the president.
Or to take our minds off whatever Mueller and his investigators might come up or with or conclude in the near future. What?
Now, you're starting to sound like a very astute lawyer, Mr. Cavuto. Yes.
Oh, if that were true.
Our former colleague Glenn Beck always used to say, you know, watch the hand that nobody else is watching. When they're waving at you, watch what they're doing with the other hand. So you're right. They may very well want to divert attention from a special counsel criminal investigation, which they perceive as having dragged out so long that the public has lost interest in it, and which doesn't appear to have too much meat on the bones, into another area where they can be wilder. Look, you can't force the potential defendant in a criminal case to sit down in front of a grand jury and answer questions. We know that.
Yeah.
But you can force, I'm speaking of the president, of the defendant in a civil case to sit down under oath and answer questions. You just have so many more tools available to you in a civil case. I know that Donald Trump is probably going to say, you know, this is just sour grapes. They lost the election. They're trying to blame it on the Russians. Good luck. But they can force him to answer questions under oath in this context.
Wow. Judge, thank you very much. I always appreciate it.
All the best, Neil. Have a great weekend.
You too, my friend, Napolitano.